Hello, everybody. I'm mainly doing this for myself. Uh, and there's not a whole lot of people, but I still love you all. Thank you to the two of you for the nice comments in the last video. Really do appreciate it. Anyways, today is the 8th of July. Happy Saturday. Um, let's go ahead and peruse the charts, why don't we? So we're going to start with Bitcoin. I have the daily on the right and 4-hour on the left for most of these. Just so you know, going forward. Alright, so Bitcoin, we see immediately start looking at the daily right here. We see it went up a whole freaking lot with a lot of bullish volume behind it, and when the retracement started happening, there wasn't really much bearish volume. However, since then, the bulls haven't really come in, and so we're just kind of waiting for that to happen. And it most likely will, because I think Bitcoin is a pretty good fundamental concept. So basically, not seeing anything there. Sure, sell possibilities, I guess, but I'm definitely only looking for longs on the market, and unless you're a very experienced counter trend trader and have backtested through the crypto markets, only stick to getting in buys, because even though we have endured, this like month and a half, no, about a month lull, a month of retracement of the majors in the crypto market, it's about to kick into gear, especially towards the end of July is when it's really going to start, and then August is going to be inflamed with so much fun activity in the crypto market, and the awareness levels are really going to start increasing. And I think we are barely at the start of the first wave of this. So just keep that in mind. And that's why it's important to stay bullish, because, I mean, it's the perfect time in history for this kind of stuff, for cryptos to come into play, especially when, we got the world markets and the world banks fucking up left and right. Anyways, our job is we're just going to keep catching our little trades and keep compounding and compounding. So let's go to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin on the daily here, we have the very, very popular crypto pennant that you're just going to see all too often. We see that a few days ago it broke to the upside, and coming down for a little retest right now. On the left, on the 4-hour, we see also as it broke out, it made a divergent W that broke the W's market structure, being that it broke this middle part of the W, which is signifying an uptrend. So I have taken a leveraged entry that I mentioned last video, right around this area, and I put a stop loss like at 2000 or 2050, I believe it was. So anyways, I am bullish on this. It is always possible it could go down once more, but things are looking pretty good for it right now. Anything else I see here? So yeah, things are looking good. Honestly, if we can get a reversal pattern right here, which I would talk about against the 10 EMA, after price has been chilling above it for at least 2 candles, that's a very, very bullish sign as well. So I am hoping that today or tomorrow fills this reversal pattern, a bullish reversal pattern against this 10 EMA. And that's what I would love to see. Other than that, yeah, it's looking bullish. Just sit and wait for its next bullish move, and the next move would be breaking this previous high on the 4-hour, and that's confirmation that this is bullish for sure. Next, we have BitShares. See that it's in this channel, and it hasn't been doing much since. It's stayed in that channel on the daily. It's had freaking uncompared bullish volume. Look at that compared to what bears are out there. Pretty darn awesome. But we just have to be patient, wait for this to get back up above the EMAs, breaking the channel, trend line, that kind of stuff. Just gotta be patient with that. We have Burst next. Zoom out a little. So it's kind of a little more of an ugly trade, but just going through this really good bullish volume, a little retracement, made a W there, not much bearish volume, went back up, and then boom, went to take apart this new high, and then the bulls haven't come in since, and I believe this is like the last little retracement they're going to give the bears for a chance to get out now that they know that they can take this to a new high, especially when you got the uncompared volume right there, right? So that's looking good. Just got to be patient and wait for that one, and then maybe we could see a trade once it gets back up here, consolidates, that kind of thing. I don't like clams too much, but I also don't know too much about it. But it's also in this very, very popular pennant. Do something like that. And we just gotta be patient with that. There is a little more bullish volume in here than bearish for sure, but we just gotta wait for that first initial breakout and then to look for a spot on entry. 4 hour, you know, don't really see anything. It could be making this really big W right here on the daily. Chances are that's what it's gonna be doing. And once it goes up, break market structure, we'll get in on that retest. Go to Dash. So Dash, I mentioned I took a leveraged entry at this box. You can see them on both charts here. So I will tell you again why I kind of got in. We're just going to look at the daily. We have this crazy awesome rise. Crazy awesome rise since like February. Overly bullish volume, definitely. It comes down for its retracement. And it through here, you know, it just consolidated but was never ever to get past this support zone, and you got the major wicks firing down at it too. That's a great sign. Also coinciding with that 200 EMA for support. It's pretty darn beautiful. And so it kind of made this really big W and broke up and just about broke market structure right here, creating a new high. It for sure did here. For sure did right here on the 4 hour, broke market structure, broke these previous lower highs, and I got in right here after this bullish reversal pattern, or it might have been the second one I entered off of. Either way, right in there. And sure enough, it boomed right afterwards. It's trying to create that same reversal pattern to boom more to its ultimate previous high peak. And it's looking pretty promising right now, I must say. I am in profit, but I do want to, you know, get it up there before I take profit and start compounding that into whatever next trade appears next. Yeah, 4 hour. Look at this uncompared bullish volume in this newly formed uptrend. And since this new high, I'm about to sneeze. Got it. Since it boomed, since I entered the trade right here in the box, we got a lot of the bullish volume, a little of the bears making this little retracement, and it looks like it's about to get ready to boom again, especially if this daily closes right up there. That's what's often called a railroad or a bullish engulfing candlestick reversal pattern. I didn't really pay attention to them after learning the basics of trading after a while. But this 10 EMA is money for some reason and can be really, really used to get those specific entries right before volume starts pouring in, for sure. That's just what I've been seeing a lot lately. Let's go ahead and take the weekly just to be sure. So on the weekly, big rise, came down to its first retracement point, which is the 10 EMA. Stayed above, had some reversals, and yeah, so you get this reversal pattern right there, which is a sign for an entry. You put like a stop loss below the previous low or something, and it would have held for now. And now, even better, it made this a little more obvious W on the weekly, broke above, and now it is creating this very bullish reversal pattern on the weekly. And I just got goosebumps because that looks so good. So this is definitely a bullish sign, and would, if I were you, just throw few dollars if you have it down, just to watch, get the Blockfolio app on your phone so you can monitor it. Doesn't matter how much, just start playing with it and developing that patient trader's mindset, because with these trades, they only work best on the longer time frames, and I'm having to come out of the shorter time frame mindset used with Forex a lot. But after back testing and seeing the percentages, it's just crazy how often or how transparent these markets are compared to the Forex markets. Anyways, and there's good reason for that. It's because of the decentralization and very potentially unmanipulated, right, by like computer software, etc. The only way these markets can be manipulated is the most fair way, and that's if a lot of money starts pouring in or if a lot of money starts pouring out. I wouldn't call that manipulation at all. That's how the markets work. But people get confused by that, and so, but just so you know, let's move to Digibyte. So we have the weekly here. Crazy bullish rise. Just hit its first target on the retracement. Start seeing for some support coming into play here. On the daily, we're it's staying under the 10 EMA. We definitely need to jump up above it before starting to look for an entry. The buyers have completely let them take this retracement, guys. Don't think that this is some crash or anything. But most people are going to be trading how I'm looking to trade this. Is you're going to get in at a major retracement point, exit at the previous high, or take it for a little further. So, for example, here, Digibyte, of course, had its pretty infamous rise because it's a pretty promising coin. And since we got this little reversal right there, the bulls have stayed out because they knew, oh, it's time for the bears to take their retracement. And the reason why they're letting them do this is because, one, they probably took profit around up there, and so they're totally fine with getting another entry down there and making twice as much money on the same price entries as before. But also, they don't want to pour a ton of money into this, billions, before they know that they've gotten as much of the sellers out of play as possible. And that's what they're doing right now. And there's going to be a sign where bulls are going to come in. It's going to retrace one more time, and that retracement period is going to be a time for the bears to exit their short positions right here on this retracement, and for a chance for the bulls to enter whole new positions. And we definitely want to trade with the bulls, because you could see right here on the volume and over here I think you know where the chances lie. It's just really obvious. So yeah, we're just in a waiting period for Digibyte. Let's go to Doge. I want to look at this on the weekly first. So Doge, though it doesn't have a lot of originality for the coin, the internet just loves it. It might, and it looks like it'll sustain throughout a long period of time. Anyways, daily it's a little easier to see the volume and everything. But we had this little pennant, and it was playing with it, and it's bouncing above and below it right now. But most importantly, you had these crazy wicks that fired down. And I haven't seen these big of wicks in, I think, any of the 30 or 40 crypto pairs I have in my trading view. I haven't seen wicks like this on the daily. You see a little on Bitcoin firing to the downside, but this is quite telling that that the bulls are still here. The bulls are still here. They're ready to make their money, and they're just being patient at this point, and that's what the wicks mark. So, first thing we would need to see is a break of market structure big time, which would mean like on the 4 hour we needed to jump up to there, or on the daily jump up to here, back down, and then by that form it probably would have finished this W, which it looks like it might be doing right now, but we will see. So this is just patience, but it does look like it is definitely trying to break that bearish trend line. It's retesting, showing wicks. It's looking like it's going to set up for us pretty soon. Next we have Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic It's pretty sweet on the weekly. Rise, rise, rise. Overall bullish power, uncompared bearish volume. Went up, made a little M. So we still needed to jump up above once more, get one of those reversals, and I'd be looking for an entry. But this could be a time where the bulls of the market are going to let them take it down to possibly this previous high right here. But I don't know. If not, they need to start. The bulls need to come in pretty soon, and then you could get this little W into play as well. So all I'm seeing is a sign to be patient on this, just because the bulls have let the sellers, take this down, and they let these candles stay below this 10 EMA, signifying that, all right, bears, this is your time to take it down if you want to before we come in and make our move. As long as this stays below, that's going to be the seller's chance to get their little profits. So now we just wait for that next bullish signal where it's going to get up there. Same thing I've said already for like these 9 other ones. But yeah, overall bullish for sure. Now with Ether, we have made this little pennant, and it's not the best pennant I could have drawn. In fact, I should be drawing it right there so it hits those wicks. And yeah, it's trying to push to the downside. But as you can see, overall, we had all this crazy uncompared bullish power. And even during this retracement, it is uncompared. This biggest candle, red candle on this retracement, is right here. And as you can notice, that's not a hugely red candle. And so the reason why this is bigger than the others is because quite a few buyers also came in here in this wicked area. And though even if the candle finishes just this much red, right, just like this candle or this candle, it's going to show red at the bottom. But you need to also take into account what has happened during that candle to make this volume boost. Is this a sign that there's a lot of bulls in the market? No, this big red volume stick right here is a sign that the bulls are here, and that's what made up for the majority of this big volume stick. So we know that people are getting entries here, and of course, Ethereum's such a long-term thing that, yeah, people are watching it like a hawk, like with Bitcoin right now. But nonetheless, we're waiting for a breakup above the 10 EMA, above the bearish pennant trend line. Wait for a retest, get a reversal pattern there. Done deal. Would also like to see, a W or something on the 4-hour as well. And most likely that will happen. Ethereum USD, same thing. Except, notice how big this red candle is. The same place, but freaking big. A lot of volume came into that right there. A lot of bullish volume came into that. So now we're just waiting for the next time to do that, and it'll probably create this W. We'll enter off the retracement once we have some confirmed market structure breakage to make it bullish on the 4-hour. What I mean by that is just breaking to the upside above these kind of previous lower highs. Looks good. Factum had its rise, stayed above the 10 EMA, started retracing. Since it started retracing, it hasn't gone back and stayed above the 10 EMA. So this is still a sign for sellers to take it down if they want, or if they can. There's not much bearish volume in this. It's usually just the bulls exiting their medium-term trades for profit and looking for the next best entry. Because that's how we compound, guys, and our goal is just to make as much money as fast as possible with this, honestly. And honestly, the best way is on the long-term dealios like this. Unless I could see another 90% win percentage on the shorter 15-minute time frames or something, which I sincerely doubt we will see. But I would love to, because could you imagine how many entries and trades you can make in just a single day? You Forex traders know. But anyways, what we're seeing with Factom, need to jump back up. It's still in its retracement period. No sign it's ready to come out of. Yeah, we're just gonna have to be patient with that. We have folding coin. So we are going to be looking for buys in this just because of its uncompared bullish volume, obviously, and its rise. It's still in this retracement period, like with most of these. We're just going to be waiting for that jump back up. And that's all we can do with this. Genosis, I don't really like too much. It did create this reversal candle off of on the daily. I think the last time I made a trade and analysis video. It wasn't touching the 10 EMA, and I really wanted it to. But it just broke this previous low, so this is a time where the sellers can come and take their retracement if they want. I mean, but the bulls don't mind because the bulls got in right here, and we had this crazy rise in just 6 candles on the 4-hour time frame. And so yeah, they can take it down, to freaking, the 61.8 or 78.6% fib retracements. I'm just eyeballing it now because they don't have to be used exactly, and unless you want to trade in between the fib retracement levels. But that's not that's a scalp, and if you guys want to scalp the market, go ahead. But I know I went through that for about a month and a half, and you don't see a lot of consistency, unfortunately, which is why I have the daily, weekly, and 4-hour open. Folding quantity is still really new, but yeah, we just gotta be patient and wait for its signal. Next we have Golem. Look at Golem's crash recently. Let's see here. I did take some entries right here, and I did exit right up here. Actually, I might have exited on that very tip, I don't know, but I took a little profit. Not much. It was like 35% profit. And so now it's doing the same thing everything else is doing. The buyers are letting them retrace, so on and so forth. Litecoin's doing the same thing Dash is doing right now. Litecoin and Dash are the 2 trades I am in. Just like with Dash, I entered in these boxes here. But let's go ahead and we'll do a quick overview. Alright, so I pulled up the weekly, and if you've been watching this, the first thing you're going to see is like, whoa, those are some bearish volume candles. And so this is very important. You see this and you got to be like, okay, why? So let's go ahead and see what happened. We had this crazy bullish rise. Lots of bullish volume. Came down, and they let them come down because we got a little, for the first bearish candle there. So we're like, okay, they want to take their little retracement, we'll let them. So that went down. And this big red candle happened this red volume candle happened on this kind of minuscule bearish candle compared to the previous two. And the reason for that is because so many buyers came in right here. So many buyers came in this candle, and that's the only reason why it's quite red. Because if this red meant it was all bullish, then that would mean its candle length would need to be longer than like these previous two, or basically breaking down and closing down here. And it definitely didn't. Lots of buyers came in here, just like a lot of buyers came in right here. So that's why I see on the daily it's still very overall bullish. On the daily, we have this rise. Boom, we had this big red candle there. There's some sellers up there. Like, okay. So I'm starting to see this, and this is a good sign, I think, of taking profit on our trades. Is this when you get a competitive bearish volume candle like this right here, and that's a sign like, okay, sellers are here, they want to take their retracement. This is a time for all the buyers to exit. They take their little retracement, and boom, broke market structure. And what I mean by that is all these previous lower highs right here broke above it with fierce bullish volume. I took an entry right here after these reversals, and also on the 4-hour we can see it made a really tight W and broke up above this middle part of the W, and that's a really promising sign on retracements, is when you get a W that forms its full W. People often get into the retracements off of that, and that's what I did. You know, I could get in the retracement off the W, or just get in after this bullish reversal candle, either there or we got another one right there. And now it's doing the same thing that dashes. It went up and came back to its 10 EMA, and now it's trying to create that reversal candle again. And just like that, just like Dash. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and not to be humble bragging at all, but it's freaking fascinating. But you know, being patient like I was in the past 2 months, you know, and then last week, the only 2 trades, I wasn't in any trades, and then I entered Dash and Litecoin, and look what has happened. It's been freaking on point volume. I've been trading and got in line when the bulls were starting to come in. I didn't have to really endure many days of down draw at all. Yeah, it's pretty darn cool. So Litecoin, if this candle closes right here, I might update my trading view saying this is a possibility for another entry, especially if we get that there and then we get a little reversal in the 4-hour as well. Yeah, done deal. It's looking pretty good. MaidSafe coin is freaking ugly. Yes, that's right. I did write gross mess. This is the daily, man, and look how gross that is. On the weekly, it's, you know, ugly as well. It is still bullish. It came down, made its retracement. A very long frame W, but I don't know. I don't really want to mess with it. It doesn't look near as transparent as the rest of the charts that I'm seeing, and that's what you want to look for. You want to look for transparency. You want to see what's sticking out to you, what's obvious, what is obvious when you pull up these charts, because these charts are what everybody's pulling up in the world, and so you gotta think what. How you want to trade is, you want to go about it thinking the way the majority of the world would think when just looking at this chart, technically speaking. So if I just pulled this up on the weekly, and I see this is a very long-term trade. A very long-term trade. This W was made over the course of, you know, May of 2016, and this next downside was here in December, and it's gross. Anyways, we'll talk about more obvious stuff later. Whoa, why does that look weird? I'm gonna move that. So this NXT, very promising, very bullish. On the weekly, went up, made its retracement down to that 10 EMA, went up, made its retracement down to the 10 EMA right now. Awesome, we're going to be looking for entries pretty soon. On the daily, we have that its latest rise had just like a lot of bulls. A lot of bulls. And this biggest one also had a bunch of sellers come in, right? Because when it creates a new high, you're going to get to that point where sellers are just going to come in because they're ready for their retracement to like the previous high in most cases. So that happened. This candle formed that had this big wick on this candle, right? Biggest volume candle, had a very big wick. Means that a lot of sellers came in for their little retracement. The bulls have let them take it down, and we're just going to be waiting like everything else for it to jump back up, break market structure, that kind of thing. But this is freaking, look how apparent that like this is a good time to start looking for an entry. It's freaking great. But we just got to be patient. It just reached its previous highs. It might dance around here for another week or two. Alger, it's kind of ugly. I know I was looking for some entries a little bit ago, and we get a sweet reversal pattern on the weekly. That is pretty, yeah, it looks pretty good, but you know, on the daily, it looks like it could be quite a while for it to make its move. So I just think your money could be better traded elsewhere, so you get those returns in a much shorter time frame. Like this has bounced around in this range since March, and I don't want to wait for 4 months for it to possibly break up. So that's just what I'm seeing. Sia Coin, if you guys know, is pretty bullish, pretty promising. So just looking, we got this rise, we got uncompared volume. Get this big red candle, and that's a sign that sellers are gonna be ready to make its retracement, and that's what started happening once it got up here. So it did make this M of sorts, but this still created a new high, nonetheless. So this is doing the same thing as I'm gonna sound like a broken record, I swear, but yeah, we just gotta wait for the next sign for the bulls to come in to break market structure a little bit on the 4-hour at the very least. And yeah, we're just kind of waiting for that. Steam is very bullish, very, very transparent. Just looking at the volume, right? Like, are you kidding me? It's hitting its first retracement points right now. Definitely got some wicks firing. It looks like we're gonna need this to break above this bearish trend line, and then we'll look for an entry off the retracement. But it should be happening pretty soon, because as you can see, the bulls have not come in, since the beginning of June. They've totally let them come down and take their little retracement thus far. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Just be patient with that as well. We got Stratus. Stratus, just like everything else, we got this bearish trend line. That if price stays below, the sellers are just, that means that the bulls are allowing them to keep on making their retracement. Don't be scared by this, unless it's something on I don't know. There's something about Ripple I don't like, but never mind. I'm not super fluent in the fundamentals of many crypto in-depth stuff with them fundamentally, and I need to get around to doing that. I've been slacking, but nonetheless, this is in its retracement period still until it breaks above. Just gotta be patient. We have Stellar. Stellar hasn't done squadoosh in a while, and so go and take a look at the daily. Think about what you're seeing, and basically, we had this really big rise. It's first rise only. Yes, got some good bullish volume, but it never created a new high. It never came out of its retracement period at all. So I don't see a trade other than be patient. Like with most of these, just gotta be patient. Vericoin, I don't like that much, but let's go to the weekly. There, that looks better on the weekly. Uncompared bullish volume, came down. It's at its retracement 1 point. It came down a lot before on the weekly and zipped back up. That's a good sign it's ready to go. So this wouldn't be a bad place to start looking at for an entry on the daily. The only thing I would need, well, on the daily it also shows that a lot of sellers just came in. This huge green volume candle is right there with the green candle on the chart with a really big wick. And that just means a lot of sellers came in, and that wasn't really that bullish of a candle at all. And so that's a sign that, all right, well, we got to let them retrace and do their thing. And that's what they're doing right now. And it looks like they could come back down to here again. But yeah, just got to be patient. But this is a definite sign for the buyers to stay out for now. You guys want to look at silver? I haven't in a while. Let's pull up the weekly. So it's in this downtrend. It came back up for this downtrend retracement. It kind of messed around here, broke back below the moving averages, made this M towards its trend continuation, had this sweet reversal on the weekly. I remember seeing that and I'm like, oh, silver is going to go down for a while. And sure enough, it's spiking down right now. My grandpa is sweating. Uh, and yeah, it looks bearish for now. In the long term, I think it's bullish. I think we're about to see some crazy, crazy stuff in the world. And silver, the silver prophecies may be coming true the in the next couple of years for sure. Anyways, yep, very bearish. It looks like it's gonna make a new low. RSI is oversold, so this is a chance for a possibility the buyers coming in and maybe making this really big W. But you know, it kind of tried right there. I wasn't able to, so I don't know. I'm not trading it, just watching it, but might as well go through it. This is gold. So gold on the weekly, we have that it's obviously, you know, an uptrend. Made this new high, came back down. And it came back down, and so we're allowing for this retracement, right? Obviously, this isn't near as transparent as the crypto markets, but still, we could kind of get an eye for this. So we're in a retracement period. It came down, went up, kind of tried to test above these moving averages. Whenever that happens, the goal of that for the buyers is for those moving averages to cross. It broke down below with a lot of bearish volume before it got a chance to. Just look at that bearish reversal candle and volume to go in line with that. That's a good bearish sign. So it came back up, made a true retracement, in my opinion, because this is definitely a bearish sign. Just made an M, finishing that M. Gold looks to be going down for a little bit, guys. But still got to remember, it's very long term. Maybe it's easier to see on the monthly. Yeah. Look at all of this bearish. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is a crazy amount, but you gotta remember why that happened. We had, since 2007, gold's gone from 600 to 18, 19. This is its first retracement. And what do you see on those first retracements? You'll see the sellers come in right away, and now it's up to them to see if they want to come in pretty hard right here as well to take it another level lower. If not, yeah. Anyways, we're getting off track. We got NEM. NEM, I kind of drew this pennant. It broke above, so I would be looking for an entry on the daily once it broke above those moving averages. Some maybe broke this little high on the daily retest. Just gotta be patient with that. Just gotta be patient with that. Yeah, just gotta be patient. There's no sign for sure it's ready to go up with, and that's why we just gotta sit back and relax. Monero, I don't want to trade this on the daily. Maybe the weekly's better. The weekly is for sure better. Alright. Crazy bullish rise, uncompared bullish volume. We got this retracement with very minuscule bearish volume, meaning that the bulls let them take that down. Went back up, almost got to the previous high. Usually when that happens, price goes down one more time to give the sellers a chance to get out. And now it looks like it might be getting ready to boom on the weekly. I would like to see one more reversal pattern, a lot like this one right here, to happen. You know, if this weekly candle closes up here or something, that would look pretty gold for Monero. And this is obviously the clearest play, is on the weekly. And then you go to the daily, it's just kind of, oops. Go to the daily and it's pretty ugly, right? It's a lot like clams almost. So I would just stick to the weekly on this, and we'll see at Sunday how this weekly candle closes. And keep an eye on that. Next we have Ripple. So Ripple on the weekly hit its first retracement point. That is why it has not been doing much, guys. On the daily, it's been chilling, it's just been chilling. Well, it hasn't broken lower since late May anyways. But what we would look for, a breakup, retest, that kind of thing, or simply just look for a reversal pattern above or hopefully touching the 10 EMA on the weekly, and that would be an awesome sign. It does look like we're going to have to wait another week or two though. Next we have Zcash. Zcash on the weekly, uncompared bullish volume. It's making a retracement right now. It just hit its first target retracement point. Let's go to the daily. It's awesome. Looks really bullish. Looks really bullish still here. Not much bearish volume. Just gonna need a little jump up. You know, it might create a little W on the 4 hour. Usually does for these cryptos. Just gotta be patient, just like with everything else. Here's Bitcoin for Poloniex. The last two I have Nautilus. We got Nautilus, which I don't know anything about, so I've never traded it. I just added it the other day because I saw it had a lot of volume start coming in right here. Let's go to the weekly. So the weekly, it's still bearish until it breaks above these EMAs or for the EMAs to cross. But right now it's actually making this pretty scary M on the weekly, guys. Quite bearish M for sure. So yeah, we just gotta be patient with that. You can take some entries on the daily if you see something. It has been a lot more bullish lately, but we just gotta wait and see for assurance. And then LBRY. If you guys don't know this product, this is a decentralized streaming media platform. And so I've heard it described like if BitTorrent was mixed with YouTube. And I think that's going to be the future of the media space for sure. That's going to be the future of the entertainer space, taking that away from YouTube and Twitch a little. And pretty exciting. So I'm excited to get my own entry in this. And I have not yet. So what am I seeing on the daily? Crazy bullish volume, uncompared. It's come down for its retracement. Hasn't broken and stayed above that 10 EMA yet, so we just got to wait. On the weekly, had a really big rise, and it just hit its first retracement point. So we're going to start looking for, we are looking for an entry, but it's got to be a little more patient. This trend line's gross. So is this. Just gotta be patient, wait for it to jump up in a reversal pattern, that kind of thing. It's looking awesome. So I'm excited because we've had to deal with this lull for a month now. And trust me, we're almost over with it. Late July is going to be the start of the biggest movements we've seen in the crypto space so far, and that's going to lead into August, and August is going to be completely on fire in the crypto space, and it's never going to slow down from there. Sure, we'll have little retracements like we just endured for the past month, where the market cap hit, you know, it was like at 115 and then retraced back down to 90. It was back up at like 100 the other day, and now it's at 94. This is about to take off, and so we gotta start looking for entries. And you know, I like the idea of leverage trading, having a pretty safe stop loss, but leverage trading is also difficult and requires a good amount of studying. And I would also study the futures markets and how those work, because that's basically how leverage is worked. And you can see in my 3 trades, I had Dash and Litecoin. Litecoin was at a I had it at 180% when it had just a few days ago when it had this rise. It was at 180%, but I kind of want to take it to a new high, just a little. I told you guys the other day I entered Bitcoin. It's down a little, but my stop loss is at 2150, which is a little tight, to be honest. Give you a little look. Yeah, it's a little different for each chart, but that's basically right under these wicks right here, or 2150 is right there under these wicks. But I very much like it, and we will definitely see what happens. But it looks pretty good to me. So yes, contact me, leave a comment. Let's work together on this, guys. I've been alone on this, learning so many technicals for a year and a half. I was feeling pretty lost earlier this year for sure, and then dove into these crypto markets and these crypto charts in early May, and it's absolutely crazy how transparent and obvious the signs are for long-term trades on these. And they should not be ignored, because this is definitely possibly the biggest creation that could have a huge economical impact, like the creation of the internet did, like the dot-com boom days, which I don't even know a whole lot about. You just know the fundamentals, like, well, sure, it's the internet, of course. Looking back, of course, you know, people talk about, yeah, if I could go back in time, getting Google and Microsoft, this is going to create companies, coins, whatever, that are going to be bigger than that. Because this is just eventually where the world was heading, thanks to the creation of the internet, is a unified money working system. And as you can see with the growth of Reddit and 4chan, you know, in the past 8 years, people absolutely cherish being anonymous. Anybody and everybody. I sit in my basement all the time because I like being anonymous. And now you get to have that anonymity worldwide with a fair currency transactions. Doesn't matter who you are, what third world country you live in, you will have very much a good amount of access to this sort of stuff. And you know, the big players in the world, the big banks, the big governments, whatever, you know, they won't be able to stop this. They will only be able to, you know, if anything, join it. And there are talks of the European Union starting to look at a cryptocurrency for the euro. And if you watch Mr. Robot, yeah, you can definitely see that happening in that show as well. Fantastic show, my favorite show on TV, movie of all time right now. Definitely check it out. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Let's see how long I blabbered this time. 47 minutes. Wow, so we're definitely getting past that 10-minute point, so I can really rake in the ad revenue from YouTube, right? That was sarcasm, by the way. But anyways, happy Saturday. Tomorrow evening, I'll be looking to get back on here, since we're going to see some weekly candle closes, and maybe we'll see some bullish possibilities starting to spur from that. But yeah, leave a comment. I definitely just want to work with anybody and anybody on this. I don't want to charge people. I don't want to get in some freaking dumb MLM to teach this kind of stuff to you. And trust me, that's where it's going to go. We saw it with, I got started with trading because of MLM that got kind of popular, and that was IML, iMarkets Live, and that's still kind of prominent. But MLMs are dumb compared to the idea of being a successful trader. I just want to help people. I've definitely learned all the technicals I probably have ever needed to know, and it's just putting it together, and that's what I'm doing in these videos. I'm not using, obviously not using like 50 indicators I've learned in the past, because a lot of it's just price action and market structure and obvious volume signs, which we definitely get in these markets. And so just got to keep your eye on that. Start opening, make a TradingView account. Start with like 10 charts. Start with Bitcoin, Dash, Litecoin, Ethereum, whatever. Just pull up like 10 random ones. God, Veritasium's awesome. And yeah, let's go from there. Let's work together. Tell me your guys' stories, you know, so far with trading, or if you're experienced or not. Honestly, if you're not experienced in trading at this point, and you just happen to be watching this, you may have the best mindset for trading out of the majority of experienced traders. Uh, that sounds very surprising to say, but that's the absolute truth because it's all about the obvious signs. And that's what I'm going through this video is the most obvious signs are the obvious volume spikes, the obvious retracements that the buyers are letting them take, market structure, higher highs, lower lows, etc. And then price action. Price action, because the mentors out there who have said, the market is telling you a story is absolutely right, because it is a game of bulls versus bears and how they are working together to each take their own profits over and over and over again. It's the best way for everybody to make money. And so we just got to learn the system. We got to learn how these big banks are choosing to put in all their money. And we definitely are on our way. We're definitely on our way. And we have a bunch of money to make. I'm not very wealthy at all yet. Here's my Bitcoin balance. I'll be transparent with you. That's definitely grown. That's definitely grown from 0.1, 0.05. But we got to aim for like, we got to aim for like 10 Bitcoins, 50 Bitcoins, 200 Bitcoins, 1,000 Bitcoins. It wouldn't be a terrible idea to start if you're really focusing on this market like I am. If you convert your base currency in your head from dollars to Bitcoin, so you could start setting up goals like I would like 10 Bitcoin, and 10 Bitcoin now would equal what? It would equal $25,000 exactly. But by the time you hit that 10 Bitcoin, let's say in like 3 months, 2 months, Bitcoin could definitely be worth 3,500 at that time. So you hit that same goal of 10 Bitcoin, but that's actually going to be worth $42,500 instead of the initial $25,000 goal. Math's a little off on that, I know. It's like 40,000. But yeah, you converted that, and for those new traders out there who happen to be watching this, if I want any advice, one, just pull up some charts and just watch. Number two, don't leverage trade, not until you are a lot more experienced. And three, read Trading in the Zone. It's also on Audible, so you don't have to pay $30, but it's all about the psychology of trading, and that's absolutely the #1 thing you need. If I read this book before last year, before August of last year, I would easily have like 20,000 more dollars right now, because I know my psychology and trading plan went to crap, and this book really brought it back. And I'm glad that I went through the period of losing money when I didn't have a whole lot, like compared to the future, and having to learn that lesson then. So don't wait. Go on Audible, download this, get through it. That will put you in and it's very understanding. It works the same way with golf. It's 90% of the game is played between your ears, in the space between your ears. Same thing with trading. Pretty exciting times, guys. Excited to kind of just share my analysis with you guys in hopes that we're going to become really skilled at this. And it doesn't take too long. It doesn't take long at all, obviously, to learn the technicals. If you sat through this video, you probably already have most of them kind of down. And that skill is something you could use for the rest of your life for smart investing. And if you could get some skeptical people out there, or some of the older people out there who heard of cryptocurrencies probably are like, it's not stocks though. It's not stocks though. But let's look at Apple. Okay, just for example, we got Apple on the weekly. had this crazy rise, crazy bullish rise, obviously. I'm not really, and had its retracement, made a W, broke market structure of the W, retest, retest. We get some reversal candles in there, and boom, we're off to the races. Same thing happened up down here, really big rise, came down, made a W, broke the middle of the W. It's over and over again, guys. This is it. Came down, retests, get some reversals, boom. This isn't just for cryptos, but with cryptos, it's more transparent than ever. And you don't have to wait for a year for this to play out either. Or you definitely can. But it's pretty darn exciting, guys. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you learn a little something. Please comment like anything at all what's on your mind. I know, like, with me, the number one problem I've just had in my life is like never speaking my mind often at all, keeping it to myself, and you know, that's just not healthy at all. So yeah, leave a comment where you're at, any questions, any advice, anything at all. Let's start linking together, guys, because this is a time for all of us to literally become millionaires. You know, hopefully a lot more than just $1 million for sure. But exciting times, guys. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll be back either tomorrow night or Monday, and we gotta start looking for some more buys. Have a good weekend, guys.